Why so serious?
Okay, so wasting no time, we're going to go right into the tutorial. First, I'm taking a piece of Kleenex and then tearing it in half. Then going in using some liquid latex on a sponge that I've kind of ripped apart. I'm going to be stippling that onto the areas that I want to have flaps of skin. And then I'm going to be laying down that tissue and ripping the edges so it kind of gives it that jagged effect, and I'm just repeating those steps back and forth, adding about, I think I added like 4 to 6 sheets of tissue. And then you're going to set that using some mattifying powder, and you can go in now to add the prosthetic. So I'm using the spirit gum, tapping it with my finger, and then I'm going to be doing the exact same thing to the other side of the prosthetic and adhering it to my head. I didn't want to place this on the center of my forehead just because it was kind of a weird spot and the prosthetic was pretty big, so I kind of placed it off to the side, but you can put it wherever you want. Taking the Skin Illustrator FX palette, this is an alcohol activated body paint. I'm going to be stippling that around the area of the prosthetic. I actually did kind of jump around here and there, so sorry it's kind of out of order. But now I'm going in with a little bit of foundation that's lighter than my skin tone and roughly stippling that onto the skin. And then for the prosthetic pieces and the latex, I'm just using a little bit of a darker skin tone because this sort of helped to match it more to my skin. If it looks a little bit patchy, it's totally fine. We're going to cover it up in a hot minute. Also bringing that down your neck. And then now what I want to do is blend the edges of the prosthetic so it looks like it's my own skin and you can't really see the piece as well. So just taking a little bit of liquid latex, stippling that on, and then trying to keep it as close as you can to the thickest portion of the prosthetic so that you can blend it together. I think I added like maybe 4 or 5 layers. When it's dry, make sure you apply a little bit of translucent setting powder on that. And then for the most fun part, we're going to tear apart and make some skin flaps on our cheek. So tearing apart that Kleenex latex dealio we got going on. This might hurt a little bit, so you can kind of tread cautiously. And now we're going to paint both pieces, starting with this blood tone red. We're going to be applying it to the outermost portion of the wound and feathering it back up to the center. And then we're going to be adding a few darker shades closer and closer to the wound. We're going to be using this old aged blood, and again stippling that all over. And then to add a little bit more depth, we're going to be using this like burgundy shade and just applying that right to the very center. Also bring some of that shade down on your lips. You can stipple it on the rest of the face if you like as well. I did give myself a little bit of a bloody nose lip area. And now going in with a little bit of a detail brush, I'm just applying this black shade here to the very center of the wound so it gives it a little bit more dimension, and also down the center of any like scratches. Because I didn't want to use alcohol activated paints around my eyes, I'm going in with the Kryolan Burn and Injury Wheel and just applying various shades of the red and blues around my eyes and mouth area, and then also a little bit in the center of this cheek bit so that I could kind of give you guys different options. If you've got different products, you can use either cream or alcohol activated, don't really matter. And I'm working with the lighter colors transitioning to darker shades, obviously applying like the darker shades to the deepest portions of the wounds, and make sure that you also paint the little flaps on your face, like the parts that are hanging off. I wanted to give an illusion of like a zombie bite on my chest area as well. So doing the same sort of motions that I did on the face, taking different variations of reds in the alcohol activated paints, and then stippling that all over. And then for the teeth, I just applied little like oval shapes with the red shade and added a little bit of dimension, so using a little bit of black to the very center of those bites. And now I'm just going and using a mix of yellow and green just to give it like more of a bruised effect, and you can add some like veining with the green and also the blue. And I felt like adding a handprint, so using that cream paint, just decided to chuck that bitch up in it with a little bit of fake blood. And then again going in using that red shade from the burn wheel, I'm going to be applying that messily all around my eye. You can use a little bit of red eyeshadow just to set that. And then I applied a tiny bit of black eyeshadow underneath on the lower lash line and applied this red shade called Summer Tease from NYX Cosmetics into the waterline, and also a little bit of the Makeup Forever D12 eyeliner on the top and bottom of my eyes. Going in now and just concealing my brows a little bit. And then really to finish this look off, all we're going to do is chuck a lot of blood all over. I did focus most of the blood drippy bits to the very center of each wound and any like orifices that might bleed, so your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, whatever you guys feel like doing. And yeah, I used two different types of blood. I used the stage blood for the actual wounds, and then to give it more of like a runny effect, I'm going to be going in and using the Mayron squirt blood, and I watered it down a little bit in a water bottle and just sprayed that all over my face and my dress. I would recommend doing this outside because it is totally disgusting and messy, but that's all I did for this look. To finish off the entire thing with a little bit of mouth blood, I used the Kryolan blood capsules. They're fucking disgusting. But yeah, that is my video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another look. Bye!